Hi everyone. Now that you got a brief introduction to the fluid mosaic model, you must be curious about what these proteins, lipids and other components that were drawn in the fluid mosaic model diagram. What do they do? What is their function and how do they comprise of this whole membrane structure? How do they keep the structure intact? So let's learn more about these constituents of our cell membranes. We will begin with the first and the foremost most abundant component in our cell membranes, that is the phospholipids. So as you have already seen in the diagram on the left hand side over here, and we have already studied about lipid structure in the biomolecules unit, where we came across one type of lipid called the phospholipids. The structure of the phospholipid is that it has a hydrophilic head and it has hydrocarbon chains which are again water hating or hydrophobic. This is the glycerol backbone. So here I can actually literally show you how the glycerol backbone connects both the hydrophilic and the hydrophobic heads and the tail of the phospholipid. So this is the glycerol backbone, and because the same molecule has both water hating and water loving parts, we call it all together as an amphipathic type of molecule, the phospholipid. Now, how the structure of this phospholipid is actually helping to play such a key role in forming the cell membrane, we are going to study that. Let's look at the features of phospholipid. Like we had already discussed, it has a hydrophilic head which attracts water but hates lipids. It has a hydrophobic tail, repelled by water but readily mixes with the lipids. Now, because of this kind of structure or coordinational pattern in this single molecule itself, what will happen if you mix phospholipid with water and you shake it? So the first thing that it will readily form is it will form a structure like this. So we represent the phospholipid like this basically, where there is a head and two hydrophobic tails. Okay, so this is how we diagrammatically represent the phospholipid. When we do that, we see that all the heads which are water loving, they will cluster together and their tails will attract and come to the center. So here you can see a gap where you will actually, in a real life scenario, there will be no gap. The tails will cluster together and the heads will clump together to form a spherical structure called the micelles. The second scenario is, suppose you spread phospholipids over a surface of water. How will it look? Look carefully. Again, hydrophilic heads are facing the water and the hydrophobic tails will move away from the water. So they will, in the 3D space, they will orient themselves to have minimum exposure to water. In the third case, it was seen that alternatively, the lipids can actually form a bilayer. Means when there is a lot of water in the environment, they will try their most to expose to water in the least possible manner. In that case, what they will do, they will form two layers. One layer of lipids will have their head towards the inside, and the other layer of lipids will have their head towards the outside. What is the reason? Because the inside also has water and the outside area also has water. In this case, you will see wherever there is water, the heads are facing the water and the tails have come together to form a non-water region. This region that is formed, we call this region, this area over here, will actually be the hydrophobic area, and these regions will be all hydrophilic regions, and this whole structure is called a liposome. So liposomes are actually nothing but 2 layers of phospholipids where they can get exposed to water on the outside and the inner surface, but in their middle region is a sandwich region where no water is allowed. This is a hydrophobic region. And this type of a structure is also an example of a bilayered structure. Now, the bilayer can be in the form of a sphere or a ball, or it can be flattened as a sheet. Okay. So if there are lots of lipids that I am trying to lay on the surface of water, then they will form a sheet like this. And when they form a sheet of bilayer, you can clearly use this as a boundary to separate two environments. An environment on this side and an environment on this side. So using this idea of this kind of behavior that phospholipid shows, many biologists later, close to the year 1972, when Singer and Nicholson actually proposed the phospholipid and proteins fluid mosaic structure, they realized that this is the most accepted structure, closest structure of our cell membranes, where phospholipids have their heads to the surfaces and their tails sandwiched in the middle. Okay, because of this kind of a structure, the membrane shows 3 important functions. The first important function is, now that the hydrophilic heads are on the upper and the lower surface, they will only attract water in this region, but they will not attract the water in such a way that the water will pass through the membrane. That means that the cell membrane will only allow lipid soluble, means lipid loving molecules to pass through them easily, because like will attract like. So lipids, they are phospholipids, they will attract lipids to pass through, and they will prevent water soluble substances which are polar, substances which can easily dissolve in water. They will the membrane will prevent them from either entry or exit. Let's say this is a part of a cell, they will prevent water soluble substances to enter or leave the cell. Another thing is, phospholipids are very fluid in nature, that is, they can laterally move. This phospholipid can flip and come over here, this one can flip and come over here, so they show a lot of lateral fluidity. And some phospholipids can also do flip-flop movement, means this one can come down and this one can switch its place. So there is never a gap. Every time the phospholipids are in a state of fluid flow like movement, like any oil that you have at home, how the oil behaves, they are flowing continuously. And because of that flowing nature of the phospholipid, our cell membrane also shows fluidity. So our cell membrane shows 2 properties because of having phospholipids in them. The first property is it becomes selectively permeable. It will only permit lipid loving molecules and not permit water loving molecules. And the third property that it gives is it makes the cell membrane very flexible and fluid. So this is all about phospholipids in our cell membrane.